It's hunting. It's just it's hunting an animal that can hunt you back. And we have that with bears. If you're in a place where there's bears, and I carry a rifle because I hunt. I have a freezer for my for our game meat. My wife has a freezer for her fish, and I have one for game meat. But I carry a rifle that's capable of defending myself from a bear. Or when I say bear defense, I'm talking about a grizzly bear or a brown bear. Um, Even when I'm hunting caribou or deer, I carry a big honking rifle just because you want to be prepared. So hunting men is the same way. You know that they're smart, that they don't want to be found, and you're just hyper aware, which to me is a lot like riding a motorcycle. It's you just kind of go into it knowing that everybody's on crack and wants to kill you, and it's just better, you're easier to survive that way. Makes you a little bit cynical, I think, but the longer I'm retired, the more grandpa-ish I can become and let some of that cynicism slide away. But being in the woods is some of my favorite memories, and we had one of my first tracking missions up here was in fact the setting, it's not the same plot, but the setting was down in Prince of Wales Island where Open Carry is set. And I got sent down. There was a young man who chopped his mother's boyfriend's head off. So chopped another man's head off with a splitting maul, and then fled into the woods. And they asked us to come down and help track him down. And we were in the woods for about 3 days, 3.5 days. I think we found him on the fourth day on a little island nearby. But a lot of tracking, a lot of, looking for a pretty dangerous dude. One of the most interesting. You're so hyper aware that you're getting all the. A lot of people don't think about, when they think about tracking, they think it's just looking at tracks on the ground. They don't think about being aware of the weather. They don't think about smells. They don't think about, one of the beautiful things about being out in the woods for more than a couple of days is you lose that cigarette and gasoline smell that's common to the city. And like anybody and trash, anybody that walks down a street in a big city is going to smell cigarette smoke, trash, and internal combustion engines. And our brain just sort of gets numbed by that. And when you're out in the woods for very long, then you start to smell other things, and you start to smell rivers of smell. And if you elk hunt, and you're in the mountains, you're gonna smell rivers of musk where elk are up, up the mountain from you, and the odor runs downhill. Here in Alaska, you can smell a brown bear. Or a black bear. When you're out for very long, you can smell the different kind. In the fall, there's a kind of plant up here called Labrador tea, and it's got a really astringent, piney kind of smell, and it's everywhere in the fall. It just smells wonderful. You start to get those little, or something's dead. You can smell something dead very clearly, or you can smell other people. That's the thing I like about riding motorcycles, is you're so in touch with your surroundings that, again, I talked about riders being mollusks and really kind of filtering the world around us. Well, when we're in a car, you don't really think about, when you go down a hill into where a river crosses, you don't think about the changes in temperature that are happening outside your vehicle, because you're stuck in this cage of a car or a truck. But on a motorcycle, you feel that, you notice that, you feel it on your neck where your helmet touches your jacket. You feel it, and you feel that little chill. And I love that. I like, my kids and I talk about this quite often. We like relative comfort. There's something so amazing about being in a tent that's mostly dry when everything else outside is just sopping wet and the rain's pouring. But when you're in a tent that is just, you're mostly dry. You would never sleep in sheets that were that damp at home, but you're pretty comfortable. Or staying in a snow cave where, my goodness, it's 27 below outside, but you heated that snow cave up to 19. You're down to your long johns playing cards because it's so comfortable in there compared to outside. That's heaven.